A motorcycle owner believes the bike is worth $12,000. The dealership offers $8,000. The seller declines, leaves, and tells other riders the dealer tried to steal the motorcycle. From the dealership's perspective, the offer may have been completely defensible. It accounted for reconditioning, inventory carry costs, resale risk, and the gross profit required to make the transaction worthwhile. But none of that matters if the seller only sees a $4,000 gap. Dealers may understand how acquisition values are calculated. Most private sellers do not. And when the number is presented without a credible explanation, even a commercially sound offer can feel like a lowball. Most owners establish value by searching online for motorcycles with the same year, make, and model. That is a reasonable place to begin. But online marketplaces display asking prices. They do not reflect what buyers ultimately paid. A motorcycle advertising for $12,000 might sell for $11,000. It might sell for $10,000. Or it might remain advertised for months because the seller's expectation exceeds the market. Dealers understand this distinction because they see completed transactions, negotiations, and aging inventory. The private seller usually sees a collection of advertisements. That creates the first disconnect. The seller anchors expectations to the highest visible retail number. The dealer values the motorcycle according to the price it can realistically produce. A disciplined offer should be framed by the motorcycle's potential retail selling price, not the most optimistic advertised price, not the price of the cleanest example in the country, the realistic selling price for that motorcycle in that market at that time. From there, the dealership works backward. There may be negotiation before the motorcycle is sold. It may require tires, brakes, a battery, or overdue maintenance. There will be an inspection, detailing, photography, and advertising. The salesperson will earn a commission. The motorcycle will consume working capital and occupy floor space. And the dealership still needs enough gross profit to justify accepting the risk. Once those amounts are deducted, a motorcycle expected to retail for $12,000 may have a buy number closer to $8,000. The calculation may be commercially correct, but the dealership often presents only the final number. The seller sees $12,000 online, hears an offer of $8,000, and concludes that the dealership intends to make $4,000. The costs between acquisition and resale remain invisible. Used motorcycle appraisals are not based only on what can be seen during a brief inspection. The dealership may not know how the motorcycle was ridden, stored, or maintained. Service records may be incomplete. An inspection may uncover leaking seals, worn bearings, damaged wiring, or evidence of a previous repair. Aftermarket parts may create tuning, compliance, or reliability concerns. And once the motorcycle is resold, those problems become the dealership's responsibility. A private transaction ends when the motorcycle changes hands. A dealership remains attached to the motorcycle through its reputation, customer relationship, and any warranty or after-sale commitment. That exposure must be reflected in the price you pay for the bike. But again, the seller may never hear any of this. The dealership sees risk. The seller sees a clean motorcycle that started this morning. Owners frequently expect aftermarket parts to increase the motorcycle's value. They may have invested thousands of dollars in exhaust, suspension, lighting, paint, or performance upgrades. Those modifications have value to the owner. They may also appeal to a particular buyer, but they rarely increase the dealership's offer by the amount originally spent. Customization, in many cases, narrows the potential retail audience. The next buyer may dislike the exhaust, question the tuning, or prefer an original motorcycle. Some modifications may need to be removed or corrected before resale. Simply telling the seller that aftermarket parts add no value is unlikely to build trust. The dealership should explain whether those modifications improve marketability, have no effect, or create an additional resale cost. Not every motorcycle requires the same acquisition margin. Dealers can usually offer more aggressively when uncertainty is lower. A desirable motorcycle with clean ownership, documented maintenance, and limited reconditioning is easier to value. The same is true when the dealership already has customers looking for that model. Expected inventory turn matters. A motorcycle likely to sell within 2 weeks can justify a stronger offer than one likely to remain in inventory for 6 months. Seasonality, color, specification, and local demand also matter. So does the dealership's existing inventory. If 4 comparable motorcycles are already sitting on the floor, the 5th represents a different risk. The offer therefore reflects more than the condition of the motorcycle. It reflects the dealership's ability to sell it profitably and within a reasonable period. A private seller may receive more money by selling directly to another rider, but the higher potential return comes with additional work and uncertainty. The seller must advertise the motorcycle, answer inquiries, negotiate, manage test ride concerns, and wait for a qualified buyer. Financing and outstanding liens can make the transaction more complicated. A dealership can offer speed, secure payment, documentation support, and a defined completion date. That convenience helps justify the difference between private sale potential and a dealer offer. But convenience cannot be part of the value proposition if the dealer responds slowly, changes the offer unexpectedly, or creates more paperwork than a private transaction. If the dealer is paying less in exchange for certainty and simplicity, the process must actually provide both. Dealers entering the "we buy bikes" business cannot treat the appraisal process as a contest between the seller and the used vehicle manager. The objective is not to prove that the owner is wrong. It is to make a commercially responsible offer that the seller can understand. That does not require revealing every dollar of projected profit or debating every comparable advertisement. It requires a clear explanation of the motorcycle's realistic resale position, expected reconditioning, and the benefits included in the transaction. Some sellers will still decline. Their expectations may be too high, or they may prefer to accept the work and risk of a private sale. That is not a failed appraisal. The failure occurs when a motorcycle could have been acquired profitably, but the seller rejected a defensible offer because the dealership never made it credible. Buying motorcycles directly from owners can give dealers another source of used inventory, but placing "we buy bikes" on a website will not create that inventory by itself. The offer has to protect the dealership's margin. The explanation has to earn the seller's trust. And the transaction has to deliver the speed, certainty, and convenience used to justify the price. A commercially correct number is only the beginning. If the seller cannot understand the value behind it, the dealership may never get the opportunity to buy the motorcycle. If you work in powersports and want clearer insight into dealer economics, market structure, and network performance, subscribe to the Powersports Standard. Until next time, ride safe.